Can you remember your reaction to the New York Times article when it came out? Like how fantastical it was. Like
Yeah, I was
it
excited.
was it was just
Yeah,
like
so
this
exciting.
new world that opened up, right?
Yeah,
And the thing about this disclosure now that we are having is like each and every one of these things could have been Tic Tac, Gimbal, Go Fast, whatever, right? Those were the three big ones, and I can't remember the other one. But like, if any one um of the videos that have been disclosed now was disclosed instead of Tic Tac, whatever, you would have gone, holy shit. But now it has become sort of normalized, you know.
yeah.
Now all of these videos, I go like, "Ugh, it's just fucking Orbs next. It's just Orbs next." But
That's so
a
boring.
few years, a few years back, you would have been like, "Is the
Potato, you're
mystery
like, oh,
actually
another
staying?"
potato.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's a fucking potato. Oh, this one's got
No,
plasma rays.
this one looks kind of like
I suppose
a
that's
cabbage.
Yeah.
this one's interesting. It's got death lasers. Okay, next. So, I think we are the exact thing that I reckon they want to happen is happening. We're being desensitized to it.
This is the Strange and Mysterious World podcast, in conjunction with Elucis TV. These are your hosts, Lee Stridham and William Collinson.
Welcome to Strange and Mysterious World, Season 6, Episode 1. So we're back for a whole new season. There's a whole lot of things that are coming up, new changes that we have, and which we'll get into now. But obviously this episode up and coming is the new UFO dump that's happened with, and we're going to have our usual guest on. That's going to be a usual guest on now, which is Emil. He's going to be joining us for all of our UFO dumps that we have that's coming up into this season. So yeah, take it away, Will. What's coming up? What's new?
Okay, so guys, season 6. We're gonna call this season Hidden Arts, and yeah, we're just gonna change things up a bit, make a little bit of a more of a structure of the season. So in this season, we are gonna bring in. Well, first we're gonna have a little news section in the beginning of every episode, just like a very short thing of just like bringing us up to date on all of the paranormal activity that's been happening around the world with UFO sightings, paranormal activity, and anything strange and mysterious that's happened in the last week. And we're gonna it's gonna be Lee doing a little news channel called On the Fringe, and he'll be presenting it in his little newsroom, which is gonna be quite fun. And then we're also going to be doing more remote viewing sessions of mystery targets. We're going to be bringing Ryan on like a real professional remote viewer, so we can get some real nice data with me and alongside me and Lee that are just going to be like because we're still busy learning, but it'll be fun to see what we come up with and against someone that's really into the field and is a veteran. And then we're also going to be doing what I thought would be quite fun is that we're going to start bringing in like more of like the magical teachings from antiquity and beyond, like everything that was stopped, through the Inquisitions and the Crusades and everything of all the occult knowledge and mysticism. We're going to look into the keys of Solomon, magical practice of Agrippa, the Golden Dawn, more Hermetic philosophy, and see, yeah, maybe even like do some tutorials on some of the magical rituals of whatever we can find. So I think that'll be quite fun. Unless like one of us don't like burst into flames or get like possessed or whatever. But like the thing is, it's going to be of like protection and it's going to be of the light. We're not going to go to the dark side, obviously.
Awesome. And here's our first episode of On the Fringe. Hope you guys enjoy.
This is On the Fringe, your weekly paranormal news update from around the world with host Lee Stridham.
Welcome to On the Fringe, our first episode of this new series that we are running. Our news story for tonight, the paranormal news story for tonight, is a Bigfoot sighting that comes from a group called the BFRO, which is the Bigfoot Researchers Organization out in the USA. It's basically about an encounter that happened in the wetlands just on the outskirts of Ashland, Ohio. It happened earlier this month, which is in June. Basically, it's a class 3, what they categorize as a class 3 sighting, which means it's not a physical sighting. They didn't see it, but there is physical evidence of what they assume is Bigfoot. So basically, what the story is about Thomas Paul Chell and his wife. Thomas is a college professor. They decided to go for a hike in the wetlands preserve in Ordurban. And it was around 10:30 in the morning. It was the park apparently was very, very empty. Along the trail, the hikers heard 3 knocks that came from the forest ahead of them. When they were asked later, it kind of sounded like, the wife said it sounded like there were trees falling, but like 3 times. On that same path, as they were getting a little bit further on, they got to a muddy patch. They noticed that there were several footprints in the mud. These footprints each measured around 14 to 16 inches long. They were pretty narrow with toes and no claws. Now, for those of us, that's 35 to 40 centimeters. That's a pretty big feat. This site has had previous observations of a Bigfoot or the Sasquatch, if you like, creature, but experts say this is bears. So bears, for me, that's a no, because you would see the claws on the paws when there's indentation. You'd actually see the claw marks as well. So that is our news for this week, our paranormal news. And yes, back to the show. I wanted to find out something, Will. You were telling me about that stuff you were taking to awaken the pineal gland. What's it called? Helter Skelter? What was it called?
Hikitaki. I forgot what it's called, but now I call it hikikaki, because like, I mean, I took that stuff. I mean, it's supposed to be like a digestive thing, but I took it to open up my pineal gland, and I just had the most explosive diarrhea. So I mean, like, I don't know about opening up the third, but it definitely opened up the brown eye. And then it was like one of those ones where, I don't know if you've ever looked into the toilet afterwards and you're like, it's like paranormal, because it's like how the hell did it get there? It would have had to have come out of my bum at like a 90-degree angle to have landed there on the toilet bowl, and my butt cheeks would have been in the way. So how did it get there? So
it's a paranormal movement, paranormal bowel.
Maybe we should have a whole podcast on paranormal poos. So
shit. So your pineal gland didn't open?
No.
Okay. Have you stopped taking it now? What's the story?
No, well, I think anybody, the people must just go back. I can't remember what the name is of it, but it's a supplement that's supposed to open your pineal gland called hikitaki or hikikaki. So, and I'm taking it easy now. Don't take 1 teaspoon. It says on the box, like, take a spoon. And as I took a spoon, I mean, I almost vomited because it tastes like so bad. So it makes you expel out both sides. So just start with like half a teaspoon or a quarter teaspoon, actually.
Okay.
Seeing the damage it did with this.
Is it like a powder, or like what is it actually made of?
Yeah, it's a powder.
It's like a fruit. It's for Ayurvedic medicine to like awaken one of your pittas in your body, like the fire or the water, the earth pitta. But it's specifically for the pineal gland. So just beware. But anyway, so Emil, let's welcome Emil. Emil's back, guys. The smoking man. He hasn't got a cigarette this time. What happened to the smokes? He stopped.
I've stopped for this weekend only.
Right now, so something I've actually noticed that's happening a lot, and especially with this last dump and with the previous dump, actually, it seems like we are having 80% of the stuff that's coming through now is orbs.
Yeah.
We're not seeing a ton of cigar shaped anymore. We're not seeing the discs anymore. We're not seeing any of that stuff. So it seems like either the entities have advanced to a stage where they're no longer needing that stuff, or there's a different entity here.
We don't
see those anymore. I mean, it's like in the 1970s and 80s and maybe early 90s, we were having a lot of discs and triangles and all sorts of stuff. But the stuff nowadays, it's not. We're not seeing it. I mean, even like I'll show you now. There's a USO underwater submerged object that they've got, but they're all discs and they're all orbs. Not this, sorry, they're all orbs. They're orb shaped, and I think orb is probably with regards to transferring or with regards to traveling, Orbs is probably the best way to move. It's got less
Yeah, I
friction
think
than anything else.
absolutely, and they appear to move quite seamlessly through the different mediums. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They don't appear to be physical in any way. But I like my notes when I just went through all of those videos because it was quite a lot. Like my notes just said orbs, orbs, and more
Yeah.
orbs. There's one or two like on the first page of the well, on the previous dump on the 22 May one. That was quite a classic, more saucer kind of shape thing. And what I picked up in the reports, like the PDFs, I've gone through the PDFs as well, which is a substantial amount of documents. It's yeah. Also, but more just like briefings and stuff, not really confirming anything. There's more talks of solid state sort of objects. They like to use the word potato shaped a lot, which is a new
Not Tic
characterization of
Tac.
it.
Gone to potatoes.
Yeah,
Gone
I don't know
organic.
why. Yeah, they've gone
It's
organic.
because
It's like,
there's no shape. It keeps to move, and you'll see now in one of the videos that I've
yeah,
got, the one that's coming out of the water. It's morphing. It's changing, so it
yeah,
doesn't keep shape anymore. It's there's something going on that
yeah.
we kind of don't know what the hell's going on, but it's
It,
you'll see. You'll see it's changing.
the jellyfish ones as well. There's two or three more uh, sort of jellyfish ones that also, uh, like I said last time, also they feel slightly more organic. Then they feel like some kind of a machinery thing. You know, exactly like you say. Back when, you know, it was all of these metallic, uh, hard shell shapes, which leads me to believe that would have been something. This is my theory: is that perhaps in that time, you know, 40s, 50s, when these things started appearing with substantially more solid objects. Maybe because technology from our side hadn't advanced so far. If you had seen a ball, you'd just been like, it's a fireball. It's like giving an iPhone to a caveman. They wouldn't think it's a cell phone. They would think it's a rock that can make picture, you know. So if you know, perhaps as we evolve, we are seeing more things that would more lend us because now disc-shaped things you would more lean into, that's just a drone. No, don't worry about it, it's just a drone. You know, so trying to convince us more of something, you know, because
Mm.
all the drones sort of look like discs now. You know, it's easy to confuse, but
But
um
but what about the Foo Fighters from World War II when all those fighter pilots kept on seeing the balls of light next to their planes, and they were like
yeah,
these
look,
funny like fireballs next to us, and they called them the Foo Fighters.
Mm.
yeah, or either that or just like these are different dudes. These things serve different purposes, you know. Because yeah, it looks like I read a lot. There's an Arrow report in there. It came out now. It was like sort of written in June as well. It came out with the newest stuff that sort of tries to cement the official position, I think, from the US government at the moment. Because there's an interesting thing also is that most of the new dump comes from the FBI, which is interesting. It's like it's more like people with handheld cameras. It's not like FLIR footage and
Yes.
things orbiting nuclear sites or strategic defense positions or anything like that. It's substantially more human dudes in his backyard taking a picture,
Mm.
artistic renditions and things like that. Um, but there is this Arrow report, which I've found to be quite interesting, which appears to cement the position. Is that or their conclusion? It looks like is that at least 40% of these anomalies they are ascribing to unknown technology, not anymore just saying we don't have a fucking idea what this is. It looks like they are leaning more towards saying this is definitely technological and this is not that this is it's unknown. So that I think was an interesting bit of conclusion to come to.
Mm.
But
So are
other
they
than
looking
that,
at they're looking at the orbs and saying that this is a technological thing? Because I mean, I don't think it would be more of a spiritual thing if I kept on seeing orbs.
I think it's difficult for the government to take a position on spirituality. You
Spirituality.
know, I mean, yeah, it's equally difficult to take a position, I suppose, on UAP, insofar as it
It's like
pertains to
easier to be like, oh no, it's aliens than it is like
it's fucking aliens than it is. It's not.
Yeah.
That's
I
like
think the aliens
gets you
are
into less
ridiculous.
trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
that
think
gets you into less trouble.
yeah, I think the spiritual thing might actually bring up a problem. I think if they start saying those type of things, then your whole religious community from around the world will start taking maybe not offense, but I think you might start having a bit of pushback and kickback from that, and you might cause problems. So I think they're trying to steer clear of the spiritual side of it, um, and just and kind of focus on technology. But I think,
Yeah,
and I think you're right. I think we haven't even got to that point yet. We're still developing. And where we know that spirituality and technology is kind of almost intermixed, it's melded.
yeah.
You can develop to such a point where we are nowhere near, but possibly you can develop to such a point where spiritually you are able to shift and move. Do you remember a movie back in the 80s? It was called Phantasm.
No. Oh, I
It was
heard
a
of it.
very
For
good,
my time.
it was a series of movies, and it was it was like horror. But there was a guy that was controlling these metallic orbs, and they would chase down humans, and they would kind of drill into their brains, and they would kind of
But that was almost like those incidents that happened in Brazil or like in South America.
yes.
But there was
Yeah.
those
So
those
But
they
the,
were
the whole thing is the spiritual. You must actually, if you ever get the chance to watch. I know you don't like watching movies, Will, but watch Emil. I don't know if you've seen them, but Phantasm, the series, was actually very good because it talks
Check
about
it out.
spiritual stuff. It's like a horror, but there's a lot of spirituality where the guys are entering dimensions and that kind of stuff, but also
Mhm.
to do with this sort of some sort of technology that this guy's got that's kind of trapping people. But it's a very, very good series and a very good show. But I'm thinking we haven't developed there. We haven't got to that point where we understand it yet. We're still in like infancy of trying to understand what the hell's going on around us. So I think, and I
Uh,
think even most of the
the-
government don't understand what the hell's going on.
yeah, absolutely. To that point, which is what is very interesting, is they in the PDFs also some of these things are like memorandum to church leaders, from FBI officials to say, hey guys, you need to sort of hold together your people here. So they're very much alive to the fact that this might have a knock-on effect on like a spiritual level, and I think that goes two ways. It's either going to be uh, fear of an impending apocalypse, thinking that this is like a demonic sign that something is coming, or it's going to be that, okay, well then God isn't omnipotent in the sense that they understood it to be, so there's a break in faith rather than for whatever reason they may think so. I think the two can live together, but for whatever reason, and a lot of potent people throughout history have thought the same thing. I mean, guys like Newton and Einstein, those guys have always had room in there for spirituality.
Yeah,
But I
100%.
think that can cut both ways, and that's what these memos are sort of telling these guys, from FBI officials to say, hey guys, we're not sure what this is going to do to you guys, but perhaps you should just be cognizant of this, and you might get some uncomfortable questions coming your way.
But like Hal Puthoff was the one responsible for that whole thing about, oh, it's going to change the whole, it's going to be a breakdown in society and the spirit, the church, and there's going to be chaos because they were, well, this is what Hal Puthoff said in like some of his interviews, is that he was actually on the team of scientists that were asked. They said, can you please, we want to release this information, but can you please do like a study or analytical study and tell us what would be the repercussions? And Hal Puthoff and his team came back and said, they were the ones that said, like, no, it's going to have we've done all the research and the statistical analysis and blah, 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 all the math or whatever they did. And we've come to an agreement that you should not release it because it's going to have huge impacts on religion, on the economy, on the wada. You can't. So it's actually him. And then now it's so funny because now he's like one of the most outspoken people about this issue that has like holds like such huge credibility and authority. But he was the one in the first place that fucking made was responsible for this.
I think,
Well, I think
that was back in the 70s, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember the date. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
was
see, because now
back
you
way
must
back.
remember you must remember the consciousness of the people back in the 70s and 80s and 90s was this UFO thing was you were either demonic or you are losing your mind. That at that point, that most of the world were thinking you are
Well, didn't they?
absolutely fucking crazy if you even mention
But
UFOs.
yeah, but that was because of Mockingbird, Project Mockingbird, that they made it
Yes,
so that
yeah,
if they made sure that if you I don't think that if the conscience of the people, I think they would have handled it. It's just that
I don't think so.
CIA made it like so that if you did speak about this, you would be deemed a fucking lunatic. So they did a good job of that.
Yeah, what's that
Because
dude's
you
name?
remember,
Richard Doty, who was like the disinformation officers
yeah,
infiltrating all of these
yeah,
things and purposefully feeding them bullshit to put
yeah,
out there to make it, to make these fantastic claims and then go and
knock it.
Yeah,
or
like
leak
Yeah.
like
forged
psyops
files.
and
Yeah, but
Yeah, and
in
then
my opinion, the guys have just come off of the Cold War. World War II wasn't far behind. You keep having these constant conflicts that people are this whole nuclear thing came into it where everybody was shitting themselves now because they were preparing for a nuclear war at that time. Can you imagine now on top of that they're bombing you with a thing? Oh, by the way, aliens exist. Fuck, the world would have been fucked at that time. So I think what happened, what they did, and I think maybe in a clever way, my opinion, is yes, okay, they said at that stage, all right, look, let's not disclose this now. I think currently this world is shit. We're in a fucking bad place. But let's release it slowly. So maybe that's where they got people like Steven Spielberg. They've got our Oak, your Scientology guy. All these guys, and they start making these movies about aliens, and they start ET and how friendly they are, and but this and it starts coming into the zeitgeist where you start seeing it daily, and you start seeing it, and it's not so bad. And now we're in 2026, we're thinking, I think 80% of the world believes that we're not alone and there's something out there. So it's completely shifted from the 1970s and 80s. So now we can
can
get it,
you
and now they must drop it.
can you remember your reaction to the New York Times article when it came out? Like how fantastical it was. Like
Yeah, I was
it
excited.
was it was just
yeah,
like
so
this
exciting.
new world that opened up, right?
Yeah.
And the thing about this disclosure now that we are having is like each and every one of these things could have been Tic Tac, Gimbal, Go Fast, whatever, right? Those were the three big ones, and I can't remember the other one. But like, if any one um, of the videos that have been disclosed now was disclosed instead of Tic Tac, whatever, you would have gone, holy shit. But now it has become sort of normalized, you know.
Yeah.
Now all of these videos, I go like, "Ugh, it's just fucking Orbs next. It's just Orbs next. But
That's so
a
boring.
few years back, you would have been like, is the
Potato, you're
military
like, oh,
actually
another
studying?
potato.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's a fucking potato. Oh, this one's got
Like, no,
plasma
this
rays.
one looks kind of like look
I
like
suppose that's
cabbage.
Yeah.
this one's interesting. It's got death lasers. Okay, next. So, I think we are the exact thing that I reckon they want to happen is happening. We're being desensitized to it because now they can just come out and say, here's orbs, we don't know, here's orbs, we don't know. It's definitely advanced technology, we don't know. And then we just go, oh, okay, but it's just quite boring. Can't you like bring out
I know. We're
the
just
next
forced
thing?
with the alien mooniness from the round window.
Exactly. It's have you seen that photo that's doing the rounds now on social media? It was apparently posted on like Twitter or something and immediately removed of Trump meeting with these like very
Crazy.
strange looking gentlemen. I don't know if you've seen that. No, it's not of gray. It's not of grays. It's with like it looks more like they like Nordic-ish looking tall dudes with long hair. Check that shit out.
I
It's
think I
a
might have
very
seen it, but
interesting.
hey, Emil, I get so worried when I see pictures nowadays because you've got AI that
Yeah.
is so good at changing things and making things look real. It's
It's
like,
like what's
okay,
real.
you never
But
know what to trust.
exactly to your point. Like I saw this thing on Instagram the other day, which is like this is like 7 confirmed photographs of extraterrestrial life, right? And it's Skinny Bob and those three dudes that the E42 and E52, all of those guys. And I just took all of those pictures, I downloaded them, screenshotted them, and I like hoid them into like ChatGPT, and I was like, take these as a reference file, make it grainy and looks like a little bit cuck, like it was taken on a fucking Nokia phone in the early 2000s, and make me an image similar to this. And it created this image, and I was like, if you had put this image as the eighth image in that series, I would have been like, I can't see a difference. So
Yeah.
it's too difficult to say.
Yeah.
We
But
don't know what to believe.
Yeah.
but then anyway, about those documents you said that were trying to tell the church, like, hey, what did it say in that? What's like?
It's it's
Well,
it's basically like memorandum that
Mm.
from I can't remember the date, if it was like J. Edgar Hoover kind of time period or if it was like more modern, but I'll find it. And
So it
they
wasn't from
basically,
it wasn't the recent release.
I believe it was from the most recent one. Yes, I
Yeah.
can
Okay.
I can quickly I can
Yeah,
quickly
it's
have a
fine.
look here. I've got notes of it.
What we'll do is we
Um,
can actually put it in the show notes if people want to see it. So maybe
sure,
you can send us and we'll
Yeah.
put it up and people can see. But the
sure.
crux of that, the whole story of that, I don't know why that fucking name keeps coming up, William. I keep
Rose
saying
and
crux
cracks.
every fucking episode we're having. Anyway, the whole idea about that is I think they're just warning the leadership of the spiritual community. And I don't think it's only Christians, I think it's across the board. I think they're just
Yeah.
warning them and saying, listen, just somehow get it in, talk to your guys about it because we're thinking this is what's coming and it's coming soon, just so that it's prepared. And when it happens, it's not so much of a shock as it was, as maybe like, oh, okay, yeah, we've kind of heard about it. Because I mean, I know the Islamic
Yeah.
religion, the guys talk about the jinn. We know that the jinn is a separate entity
Mm.
that God created out of fire and smoke. We know that they're good and bad. They're invisible to us. They can see us, but we can't see them. They can shift in and out of our timeline. So for the Muslim community, this is like nothing new. It's if they see it now, it's like, okay, yeah, we know about it. We're now seeing them where previously we're not, but the Prophet used to see them. But so for them, it's nothing new. On the other side, people are seeing angels and demons. So it's not a new story. There are other entities out there. We've just probably just giving them different names and different ideas about them. So it's always been there, but I think it now needs to come to a bit of a forefront where the guys start talking a little bit more about this and saying, listen, somehow in the stories, bring them up and say possibly that they're here, whatever, however they do it, I don't know. But I think it just needs to be kind of told to the people and the people must start understanding.
Absolutely. And
These
I
things are
don't
there.
actually know if that if it's happening. I haven't heard of anybody saying that, you know, this Sunday at church we were talking about the aliens and what kind of spin they're putting on it, or is there sort of like a memo from the top that says, hey guys, listen, this is how we address it. Don't sort of do your own interpretation here. The church's official position is this, and please don't deviate from the script on this one. I'm curious to know if that has actually been happening. It's not something that you're seeing in the news that there's outrage. That's another thing is that everybody keeps saying, or like historically, it is pointed to this magical conclusion that the spiritual or the religious world will come
Panic.
crashing down, but
Yeah.
but I've never really seen like any real panic from
But
the
the
spiritual
Pope,
world.
the Pope also, like a few years ago, the Pope also
2012.
acknowledged aliens and said they're welcome to
Yeah.
Catholicism or whatever.
So that's what it's
Remember
been
there was a
coming.
whole
It's
thing about that.
slowly, it's coming. It's
He made like a public like announcement about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Anybody at
what's everybody worried about?
anybody at home, any of our listeners, please send us if you go to church. Please send us if you've had any discussions about this topic. It would be quite interesting to hear. So,
And also, people are just worried about if they can pay their fucking rent at the end of the month
yeah,
because the economy
100%.
and everything.
That's
So
the
they don't
main
give
thing.
actually a shit. So they really like made us totally distracted anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, where's some cool pictures of this dump? I want to see
All
some.
right,
What did you guys
go.
find?
I've got nine videos. We'll run through them. I've got one ready, but I just need to share screen. So I just need to remember how to fucking do that now. Hold on. All right. Cool.
Awesome.
Right. So this is the first one. Again, a lot of the stuff here through most of this dump again is a lot grainy. I don't know why. I'm sure they've got 4K and 8K video of the stuff, but they're releasing this fucking shit where it's like a little bit difficult to see. But anyway, so this one, yeah, this one. Look, most of these things don't have a description. Some of them have a small description, but most of them are basically saying that members of the U.S. House of Representatives requested access to 51 potentially UAP related records. All of the videos say this. Okay, so there's not a hell of a lot of information on the actual thing. Okay, but we'll have a look here. So you can see there, Will. Emil, can you guys
Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so uh, you can see
It's just
that
like
light moving. It's very grainy, but you'll notice when they start moving, it's very unusual the way it moves, and it's definitely an orb. You can see that without a doubt. It's an orb.
this is like the infrared cam, so it looks like there's no heat signal or there's no like propulsion signal.
Yeah.
Or it looks like sometimes something comes out of the
Yeah, so they
back of
get
it,
the
or is that
black.
just
You
the
get the
air?
black, which you were right. The black actually
Mm.
shows heat from the previous podcast that we had. The black shows heat. So yeah, so you can see the black kind of moves. It moves to the front, then to the back.
Oh, there's something's coming out of it there.
Yeah.
So is this one of the potatoes? Or is this like a carrot?
No, but you
Pea,
see how it
the
moves.
pea.
See how
Oh,
it's
there, yeah,
those
it turned, it turned. It
anomalous.
just did it. It did
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
anomalous
done like,
movements.
yeah, look at the little
Yeah.
zigzags. But I wonder how
Yeah.
fast that is going now.
The thing that when I was watching this, yeah, the thing that kind of got me is perhaps this looks like there's something on the lens. Maybe some sort of a creature or some sort of microbe that's on the lens that's moving around in the lens. I don't know. It
Yeah,
seemed
I
like
Problem
a
with
mean,
that
why
strange.
would
also,
they classify it the?
I don't know.
Surely they're smart enough to know that there's not something like a bug on their lens. I mean,
Yeah,
geez,
but
and then they
I suppose you've got that cross
classified
there.
it.
You know that cross that's supposed to show the middle. It's
Yeah.
not constantly on the thing, so it's this thing is moving
yeah.
around
But it's
wherever it.
interesting the stuff that comes out the back of it now and then. Like it's like I don't know if it's the atmosphere or whatever it's moving through that's been like interfered by the motion of the thing. That's or is it actually some kind of like
Well, look, I look at around the
propulsion
whole thing.
gas or
Yeah, I look at around the whole thing,
something
but the
coming out of
whole
it?
the idea about this thing is that it's like anomalous movements. It's something that if it is a craft, it's not ours. We don't have that type of movement. Even drones can't move like that. You know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
stops and moves backwards too quickly. We don't have drones that
Yeah,
can
yeah,
do
it
that.
did like a few 90-degree or like a very sharp angle turns.
Yeah, 100%.
The interesting thing to me, though, is the fact that
It's just that
the
thing's moving.
crosshair doesn't, the crosshair doesn't lock on it, right? So because
Yeah,
I read up a little bit like how FLIR works there, because
yeah,
this is front facing infrared, right?
yeah.
Is this if this was something other than something that is being filmed, right? I'm just seeing my video now is looking very ominous all of a sudden since the sun is setting. Yeah.
Oh no. Should light one of those cigarettes up again.
Yeah, got to get some light here. Where's my bloody cigarettes? So the thing is that they use obviously sensors. It's not like a camera lens, So that must be something that is on the sensor itself, right? Now the crosshair locks because the camera is moving, right? Because
Yeah,
something is far. But the camera can't lock if something is on the sensor. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's going to
yeah,
stay stationary.
yeah.
Because that thing is going to be moving on the thing itself. But
On
in
the
the
camera.
beginning, it looks like the crosshair locks,
Yeah,
And but the other thing that's difficult for that thing is like the scale because it's zoomed in. You've got no idea. You've got clouds passing, but you don't know how fast the wind is blowing the clouds and all of that.
yeah,
So, but that's also one I noted down that I thought was interesting because of the erratic movement.
yeah. Right. Then our
Yeah.
next one. Sorry, Will. I've got to just keep chopping and changing between the shares because I think it's better when we're talking that we watch at the top here. It's going to go back again, but this thing came into the clouds and out. That
No,
there
that's like a
actually looks
classic
like a
disc,
disc.
though.
That's a disc. Yeah.
That's
Without a
a
doubt. Watch.
classic.
Check this thing up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, and it's
Goes into the
black.
clouds. Shit.
Oh
And then
wow.
out.
Geez, there's a little banana maneuver there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Didn't know.
That's
Awesome,
pretty
hey?
interesting.
Very nice one. That one.
Okay.
This is the original video.
Original
So
video.
this is what they took. You'll see it right at the top there. There.
Wow, that's cool. It's interesting why it did like a little banana movement there.
Yeah, it's fucking around. I think these
It was
guys can play
getting,
around as much as we can, dude.
yeah, they're like, someone's watching us. Let's do a little maneuver.
Then 56 was actually pretty cool. This was one in the sea. Watch how this thing changes. Check how it rolls. It's actually rolling. And then you see how it shifts. Did you see that?
It turned into like a bigger starburst thing.
Yeah, and you'll see a little bit later as it goes on, it actually changes again. So this is the one that I think Amir was talking about, where they say potato shape, because there's no real
The potato. I love it.
yeah,
So then it's like the Tic Tac, the potato.
This is also one that I noted where I thought it looked organic,
yeah,
like something that's shifting. Like it might be something that's odd shaped and tumbling, but
yeah. And I think there's a little bit further on. I'm just going to pop over to, let's see here, 2 minutes 19. Yeah, you
Does
can
it
see
go
it's
into the
moving at
water?
pace. That thing is moving now, but you can see this thing is moving quickly, and you can see how it's
Yeah,
rolling.
it's going pretty faster.
Yeah, you can see it's like moving side to side. It's not like staying upright. It's kind of wobbling
Yeah.
almost.
Just move your mouse a bit. Then it turns. Oh, maybe that shiny thing that's moving around. That's why it looks like it's morphing, because it shines towards the camera and it like flares a little bit.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's actually moving, because the shine would stay constant if it was staying at 1 degree or a certain degree. But this thing is actually
Yeah, I think
moving.
yeah. So it's actually either moving and it's actually reflecting the sun, or that thing that's turning around it is a light, and it's like it turns and it shines at us with the
Yeah,
camera, whatever.
and that is going quickly, dude. I mean, you can see the
Yeah,
crosshairs are struggling to keep up with that thing, dude.
yeah,
Yeah. So
sure.
that's that one there. I'm gonna go into 58. 58 was also quite cool. All right, this is a little bit quicker than a normal thing. Watch this here. This thing, yeah, almost looks like a. Sorry, I've got my thing in there, but again, another potato thing that again, crosshairs struggling to keep up with this, but it almost looks like
Shit.
what do you call it? A portal. It's weird. I know you don't get moving portals, but it just looks like, because it's constantly morphing. This thing is constantly moving
I
quickly
love
and
how
morphing constantly.
I love how the crosshair can't find us. It just shows how like archaic our technology is. It's like it can't
Yeah,
even.
100%.
It's like watching. It's like some kind of
yeah.
Nintendo 8-bit.
Yeah. All right. So that was quite interesting. 59. This one here was weird. I'm going to get to a point where, again, it's also another one of these morphing. You can see this is offshore. You can see the buildings and stuff in the thing, but I've got to just, you can see this moving, top there. Okay, but it'll zoom in just now.
Yeah, there it comes in and out of the frame.
Yeah, but I'll actually zoom in and I'll show you what it looks like. I'm going to move up to, I think it's 2 minutes. Yeah, watch it. 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Look at that. Look in the middle. That thing is weird. That's weird. There's like something inside there that's moving.
Yeah, that's a very odd shape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
looks
not
like a mushroom or
that's not even an
something.
orb. That there is like some sort of it looks like something inside whatever this is whatever it is. It's moving, because you'll see now it actually starts taking a bit more of a different, almost looks like an angel. Not to say that it is, but I'm just saying you can start seeing wings at the back, and then it's like weird thing.
Mm, cool.
Yeah. Then the underwater one. This was actually pretty cool. This was PRO 67. This was actually pretty cool. I'm going to go to 2 minutes and 18 because, okay, here's a submarine.
Mm.
Now I'm going to head
Wow.
off to I'm going to leave it here for now at 2:05, 2 minutes 04. So now you watch what happens here. There, you see it coming across
Yeah.
into the water. Poof, underneath, gone.
But it's weird why would it do that so close to
And then
like
it comes back. It comes back out again. Comes back out a little bit further on. Then it
how
goes
does
back
how
in
could
again.
it see that? How could it see it maybe not under the water like that? But what makes me fascinated is that why would it do that near that ship? I mean,
Well,
if
you
it's
must
trying to be
remember as well.
conspicuous or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't think this is
Should
during
it,
the day. I think this is at night.
but either way, I mean, why would it do that near the ship? I mean, if you're going to be, I
Because it
mean,
can.
the ocean's massive.
It's probably wanted to
We
see
should
what the
just
ship's
start
doing around.
just start
There it
putting
is. Now it's
cameras on
out.
ships.
Yeah, now you see
Oh,
now
there
it's
it is
out.
there now.
Yeah, but
Sorry
now
for the
watch.
listeners that are listening to this, but you have to go and
Yeah,
look at the
yeah, you're gonna
video
have to
now.
definitely watch this. YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, please. But
Yeah.
now you'll see now what happens. It'll come back towards the ship. I'm gonna just move it on a little bit. See.
So it clearly has some kind of interest in the ship. I mean, if it's fucking
Yeah,
around the
but
ship. Also, what's interesting is that, so what is this aircraft? What is this camera from? Because I mean, it can't be a
satellite.
fighter jet. It's from a satellite.
Yeah,
So this satellite, what is just do they have satellite cameras just always on these kind of ships, or is this ship like so important that it has to be
maybe there
monitored
was.
with
Yeah,
a
maybe there
satellite?
was something to the ship. Maybe
Because I
there's
mean, what, yeah,
definitely
because
satellites.
that's kind of weird. It's like the
Yeah.
ship that is being monitored, or I mean, and maybe they monitor all the ships. I don't know, but like the one that is being monitored now, there's like strange activity around it. So it either makes me feel like there's something really important on the ship, like some kind of nuclear stuff, or because it's looking at the ship that UFOs are like, oh, let's fuck with them and like make a little bit of a show and let's show some stuff. Or was it like a huge coincidence that they just,
Well, look,
what an amazing
the camera
coincidence.
is stationary. You know what I mean? It's not like it's a gunship orbiting the
Yeah.
a ship. You know what I mean? Like, there must be something substantially important because obviously, also this comes from the archives of the Department of War, so they would not be, you know, monitoring this thing if it wasn't a high value target,
And
and
that's probably
perhaps
why
that,
the UFO was interested in it because it is high value. Something's on there that the
yeah.
UFO is also
It's probably
interested
a
in.
nuke, probably a nuclear sub. This one then was from June 2021. This is actually quite interesting. It was above the clouds. It spots this. It's a very quick scene. This one, but it spots this orb. It's obviously picked up something. There it is. You see it? Boom.
Mm. Wow, it's not going green in the screen.
Yeah, I think that's just changing camera. Yeah, so that was very quick.
I made a note of 72 as well. Yeah, I think was that the
72.
previous one?
Okay, let me check.
I
72.
think we are 70. Can't recall why I did so.
But like all of these dumps, I mean, all of this new releases, it's just footage of gun flare cameras. What is this flare? Oh, this is different. What is this? This
But
looks like
that does
actually
look like a,
this looks like a normal video now. This is awesome.
but it looks maybe like a render. I think that's why I wasn't sure because
Yeah.
also one of the things that came, which is quite received some traction in this thing, was the Harare incident, not the aerial school one, but
The
there's
new one.
a report, the new one
Yeah.
from the Harare airport, which I think that I didn't catch that description now, but that is pretty much what was exactly explained, what had happened, and that appears to be a very credible one.
Yeah,
Oh.
these next two are pretty interesting. This is a rendering. This is artistic interpretation, exactly as you were saying earlier. This was actually, so before we get into there quickly, basically it was artistic interpretation of a reported incident near a sensitive national security site at the Western United States involving unidentified anomalous phenomena over a period of 2 days in October 2023. This digital recreation is based upon the first-hand description provided by a federal law enforcement special agent, as described in DOW UAP D081. So this is a rendering. So you'll have a look here. There was an orb. What he saw.
Is this from the 12 June one?
Yeah, this one is 12th of June.
From the newest one, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a very, I mean, it looks like a photograph with or a video.
Yeah. So
Very good
it's
rendering.
yeah. So it's these
Obviously
orange
supposed to be an.
orbs. You remember Sarah mentioned this that when her and her boyfriend were driving, they saw these orange orbs.
No.
Or husband, sorry, it's her husband. I apologize. Then the one that Emil mentioned a little bit earlier, which I thought was pretty interesting, and I think you've actually seen this as well, Will, is number four. Four was quite interesting. This was taken at night, July 2025, at about 9 at the night. This is a local time in the US, and it's basically in somebody's neighborhood. But yeah, so you can have a look. So I'm not going to play the whole thing, but you'll see there's the two orbs taken with an iPhone 14.
It still looks like shit.
Yeah, the low light is the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it does look like two flares that have been blown by the wind.
No, but they wouldn't be. They like matching each other, like the way that they move. They're not dropping, if that makes sense. They're kind of keeping pace. And normally they would burn out. I think a flare's only got like, 10, 15 seconds and then it's out.
Yeah, but that is quite the classic one. Hey, that's
Classic orb.
So why is this on the FBI files? What made that one special? Because I mean, you see so many of those from people's phones. Why? What was that one special about?
Well, look, remember this stuff is also quite new. It's like 2025, 2026. So all the stuff that people have put on, like this would normally come to MUFON. So when I was part of MUFON, this would have come to me and I would have seen this. So this is the type of stuff that I would have got. So they've obviously, because people are maybe not sending it to MUFON, or maybe they did. Maybe they sent it to MUFON. MUFON just sent it to these guys, and they've released it as part of the dump.
But I mean, I'm sure MUFON's even got more interesting videos than that, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
So why is that one so special?
I don't know.
Why is that
well,
one?
it does it like would to me at least have to be something that they consider to be irrefutable. You know what I mean? Which is strange because exactly like you point out, I've seen much better ones, coming from everywhere, but that must have, undergone quite a level of scrutiny and to have been found like we've got no idea what this is, which is strange to me because that also lends credibility to every single one of the videos that look exactly like that,
But you're not also thinking that they're just throwing shit out there, like whatever cock comes, they're just throwing. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because
it appears.
Yeah.
It appears from the beginning they were really trying to only put things out that they are legitimately verified. But I agree with you. This just seems like a fucking video that some drunk dude took. You know what I mean? What I was curious about also is why it is so that the dump, the 22 May and 8 May dumps, preliminarily emanated from the Department of War, whereas this new one more emanated from the FBI. Because of course the Department of War things, I quickly just read up on like their mandate and how the different sort of lettered organizations function in the sphere and why it is. And I mean, obviously anything that is caught by the Department of Defense would be something that was at some point considered to be a threat to airspace, to national security, whatever the case may be, or received from other countries at some or other briefing because a lot of these things from Iran, it's from China, it's from a lot of it's from Russia, which means that there's some international cooperation insofar as these things is concerned, because otherwise, how would we even get things, So unless we are observing things over their airspace, which I suppose is also not we, I mean, the USA is observing things over their airspace, which I suppose is also possible. But that, of course, is quite clear why the Department of Defense or Department of War is involved. But why the FBI is involved is for me a strange one, because that's not their mandate. They don't have fuck all to do with things that relate to threats of things, aerial threats or whatever. So why was it determined that, okay, this is the FBI's territory? we as the Department of War, we're not even going to touch this. This is the FBI shit. And because as far as I could read, their mandate only stretches so far as like espionage and that sort of thing is concerned, and interstate crimes and things of that nature. Like I that just a little bit baffles me why it was released under their banner. There seems to be no reason for it, and some speculation is because it relates to espionage. But I still couldn't really find a concrete answer. But what I'm getting at is that I'm a little bit worried that the quality of things that is being released might diminish from here on, because why are we now seeing things from the FBI? Has the Department of War's archive been it's completely been depleted, and now we're moving over to the next guys, who's like the FBI, and we've got 5 videos from them, and then okay, well shit,
And the
let's move
next
over
thing,
to CIA. And every next
and let's move on to the
organization moves.
let's move on to the fire department, and then when it's done that, it's like, okay, now let's move on to the post office. Let's see what they got.
Exactly, and each one that we move away from, we're getting a degree of separation in terms of credibility or who gives a fuckness. You know what I mean? Because all of these things from the FBI that they release is 5, 6, whatever videos. It's literally just dudes in their backyard braaiing and saying like, "Oh, look at that."
It just feels like because they need to release something, or they just want to keep us happy, they just feel like, oh yeah, just get those ones. Remember the ones that were there last year, the cuck ones that old Billy found in the
Yeah.
backyard. They just fucking just throw those out and just give them that shit, and let's just move on. You know?
I think
It seems like they want to bore you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like they want to be like, this isn't as fucking exciting as you think.
Yeah.
It's actually like quite mundane. You know?
Yeah. Look,
It's really cuck.
I think it's quite important for a couple of things that they've got to understand. So they're going to release, say, 100 videos, and in that 100, they're releasing junk. It's like junk shit. It's cuck. It's fuck. But you get that 1 or 2 that's like, oh fuck, like that one that came through the clouds. That disc that came into the clouds, went down, and then came back out of the clouds. That's interesting. That's a nugget. But now you got to go and find that fucking nugget.
You gotta go through 300 like of these stupid
you've
ones
got
to
and
get
I
that.
think they're doing that on purpose. But also, I think there's something that we're missing. That's happening. The FBI, the CIA, all these guys, they actually have such little evidence for what is going on. It's not with them. The stuff is with Aero. It's with all the private industries that are out there that have got this stuff. Because you must remember, the government, it's easy for them to say, no, we don't know. Because they don't. It's a given to all the private guys, and individually, they've got little pieces that they're working on. So as a private entity, we said this last time, as a private entity, you don't need to disclose fucking shit to anybody, because it's all top
so they
secret
hid it,
and it's
okay.
secretive. So of course, they hide it in the civilian backyards where we can't actually get to it. So that's the thing we've got to also be careful.
and the thing also of these FOIA requests and our equivalent of buyer requests and all of that is you can only, in any event, request things to entities that are known, right? If with the black budget in the United States is such an absolutely substantial amount of resources that is being pushed into organizations and things that nobody fucking knows it exists. You know, you can't find something that you can't. I can't say this is the person and he has this. Even if you find this person, you have to be so specific with what it is that you're requesting. Look at when I wave my hand, see in the back here, I was like fucking seeing orbs here for a second.
It's
But
the,
anyway,
it's the Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
What is it?
But no, it's
reflection.
my camera.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
your
it's
light
just-
there, yeah.
It's a camera artifact, I reckon. Well, this is your territory, but let's see. But the thing is also is like, even if you know who to ask, you got to know exactly what to ask as well. That's also, just to quickly get back to the PIRE, the promotion of access to information requests and stuff that we did, is you have to be so specific. Otherwise, they are going to say, it's too vague, we're not going to do it. Or they're going to be like, or if you're too specific and you over specify, then they're going to be like, oh no, but that just doesn't apply to this, and then you go fuck yourself. So if you if you do these requests and all of these dumps are coming, and they're coming from the people you expect them to come from. They're coming from the Department of War, the FBI, whatever, CIA, whatever the fucking case may be. But it's just because that nobody knows who these people are that actually hold the right shit, and you can't request it from them because where do you fucking even start?
Look, let me ask you a question. So I've kind of got my theories, my ideas, especially in South Africa. Yes, back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and early 90s, where our technology probably outranked most of the rest of the world, military-wise. We were quite involved with this type of stuff. So, I mean, where we had sightings, I know we had the US involved with it, one that landed in the desert or crashed in the desert. So there was a lot of stuff that was going on at that time. But I think today, our country has got fuck all budget for fuck all. Okay, these oaks have stolen everything. So I don't even think there's actually anything left to do anything. So if something is happening, and I think there's things that are happening in Cape Town, because of certain people that have got back to me when I was in MUFON, and they were talking to me about underwater bases close to Cape Town, these portals that are opening in Cape Town. And so I think there's definitely something off the coast, that side. We got no idea of how to track it on our side. We've got nothing. We are so third world at this present stage. You can ask for it, but they've got nothing. They're going to say, yeah, okay, we've got, maybe somebody saw this and somebody saw that.
And every single, here's also an interesting distinction that one must sort of draw between our systems to request information as well, is that the Freedom of Information Act, I think it's sort of locked up in the name Freedom of Information. This information should be free, everybody should be able to access it. Ours is the Promotion of Access to Information Act, which is more like, we're trying to get there. It's not like we are free to give out information. It's sort of like, let's try and be a little bit more transparent kind of thing. And again, all of these things have the caveat that if they deem it to be too sensitive for public consumption, they can withhold it. And also, you will never fucking know what they're withholding in any event. So they can just say it doesn't exist because there's a level that just doesn't exist anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I'm skeptical about how far you can get with those things in any event, because you're still at the mercy of these organizations actually wanting to play along, and it's above their pay grade in any event. So no, I agree with you that a lot of the things in private hands, and it is so decentralized and compartmentalized in any event that the whole picture stitches together. If you request 10 different things from 10 different people and manage to piece everything together as well, that also is a big problem. Yeah.
All right.
Sweet, guys. I think that's it, eh? What are we on? What did we do now?
Yeah, I think maybe what we do, Emil, if this is okay with you, I know you were very nervous on the first one. But don't need to be nervous, dude. We make people feel very comfortable here. So this is just a discussion. You don't have to worry. So what we'll do next time.
Look, Will started it off very explosive start, this one, from Will's side.
So I think we must keep on top of the subject. I think it's every time there's a release of something, we'll go through it, then we'll get together again and we'll do another podcast. I think it's important. I think we need to just keep up to date with this stuff because otherwise it runs by, and then So
absolutely, no, I think it's important.
You got to be our third wheel in the in the UFO.
No, for sure.
The UFO thing.
Look, I'm keeping my finger on it in any event. This is endlessly fascinating. I just hope the next one. I don't know if there's a scheduled date for the next one. I should look that up a little bit, but I hope the next one has something, because if it's going to be more fucking orbs and potatoes, then we can only look at so many orbs and potatoes.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. No, cool.
All right, guys.
Anything else?
See you later.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you, bud. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for letting me join, and we'll chat the next time.
Yeah, cool.
All right, man.
Have a good one, guys.
Man.
Cheers, bud.
Bye.
All right. Okay. And that's it for episode 1 of season 6. A good start there with the UFO dump. Yeah, we'll definitely, like I said, we'll definitely keep it up. We must do we must actually get our remote viewing session coming back up. Now with Ryan. He's
Oh,
going to
yeah,
do something
okay.
with remote viewing with Ryan, so we'll actually get that up and running as soon as possible for you guys as well. And yeah, if there's anything else that look, we've got a lot to talk about, but if there's something specific that you want us to mention or discuss, send us a message or put it on our, when you're doing the YouTube, just put it in the comments. That's fine.
Yeah.
And then do the usual: like, subscribe, buy coffees, go to the website, go and check everything else.
Yeah.
Cool.
And a
Awesome.
big shout out to Sarah
Yeah,
for
Sarah.
buying a coffee. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah.
Our biggest
Man.
support.
Yeah, cool.
Love you.
Right.
All right.
Cool.
Bye,
Love you,
guys.
buddy. Cheers.
Cheers, man.